Got it.
That's funny that you said that, because the screen just asked me if I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see it?
Yeah. Because it asked me too. It says, got it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, wait. I have
Diet Coke.
Okay, now, here we go. Welcome.
So scary.
We have 2 people, 3 people. All right, my friends. Welcome to our, I don't even know where to look at right now.
I don't either.
Let me log on to our group here so I can see the comments. Everybody, welcome my friend Michelle. She is joining me. Hold on, I got my friend Michelle. That's weird. Okay. So I asked Michelle to join me because she is one of my clients. There we go. Hi, Rebecca. Rebecca Hutchinson says hi. Amanda Hoffman says hi.
Hey, Amanda.
So I asked Michelle to come on because how long have we been working together, Michelle?
Going on for our 4th month. We're going into
4 months already? Oh my gosh.
We're starting into a 4 month right now.
Okay, cool. So
yeah.
It doesn't feel like that long, but
I know.
So I was talking to Michelle last week during our check-in, and she was kind of sharing with me kind of like, so a lot of times I get hired on to help people lose weight, right? And yes, I can help people lose weight, but I'm a nutrition coach, right? And so that comes with getting healthy first, and kind of getting your body where it needs to be at. And so Michelle has been kind of proving that to me, and just through her journey, so tell us, Michelle, where you started at.
So where I started at in the beginning, and this is going way back because I've been battling with my weight, and even more so battling with mental illness is what I'm going to basically call it. I've struggled with depression. But kind of to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm 52. Well, I'll be 52 this year. I always say that I'm older because I count my gestational age. Like when I touched down into the cubby wubby womb room of my mother is my age.
That's funny.
So I always count it. So I'm going to be 52. But I in the beginning, where my battle with depression started was with my infertility, and my husband and I at the time. We were struggling with infertility, and we had been struggling for 5 years. And we started going through the infertility treatments, doing all the injections. Well, I gained 80 pounds in 6 months, just instantly. And that combined with the depression from not being able to conceive, long story long, we ended up adopting, but it just continued from there. I just never really got help that I needed. The weight continued to come on. I continued to try to feed my body through food. And then what ended up happening is, after we adopted my daughter, when she was 2 years old, I got very sick, and I was in a Target one day and literally wanted to lay down on the floor. I was so sick. Don't know how I made it home, but within 2 weeks, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. So my depression, my weight gain, just not taking care of myself, ended up putting me into a full-blown autoimmune disorder, going into all of the medication that comes with that. The depression continued on, and it's just been a struggle since then. What's the time frame on this? My daughter is going to be 20, which is so crazy to think about this. So 18 years ago is when I was diagnosed with the autoimmune. And it was 11 years ago that I decided, and I want to say this up front because I do want to preface this. I don't recommend the approach that I took for everybody. I really think it's important that you work with your doctors and that you listen to your body and that you work with your doctors and you don't do the radical thing that I did, because I stopped all medication. I basically was 10 years ago, went to my rheumatologist and I said, I'm still sick. I don't feel good. I can't move. I can't walk. I can't exercise. I feel like I'm dying inside. And my mental, one part with my depression is that I have pretty severe ideology, so suicidal ideology. I can turn it into like a happy event. And it's for that reason I can't take any form of antidepressants. So there's a lot going on with me in my body. But I went to my doctor and I said, I cannot take any more medication. I can't have any more injections. I can't have any more drugs in my body. It's not making me feel well. I found an amazing group of doctors who have been working with me holistically ever since then to stay off the medication, but it just still wasn't working. I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't go on antidepressants because I was so sensitive to it. They tried me on 3 different ones. And when I started making plans and I could justify why it was a great idea, what I was planning to do, they said, you are off all medication. My therapist pulled me off medication, said, you're not doing it. I struggled. I was getting by, but I was struggling. I was struggling mentally. I was struggling physically. I was, taking Tylenol, trying to live off of Tylenol just to keep moving as much as I could. But what was happening is I was continuing to gain weight. I was continuing to feel sad. I was continuing to be depressed. And I couldn't figure out why. So long story long, and again, there's so much that's happened. And if anybody ever wants to talk to me, please don't hesitate to DM me, and I will take you to tea and I will tell you the whole shaboo. But long story long, I kind of started recognizing right before I was working with Jenna that I had to make a major shift in what I was eating. And I started kind of paying attention. I wasn't tracking my food though, but I was kind of paying attention of that food makes me feel like crap. That food makes me feel like crap. And then I started working with Jenna. And of course, the first thing she was doing was teaching me to log my food and then track my mood. And I had never done that before. Wasn't putting 2 and 2 together. I was just, my body's like, feed me. I just feed me. And I was like, okay, great. This is going to take care of it. And it was temporary, whether it had been alcohol. At times I was thinking, oh, this is going to make me feel better. I'm going to forget about my pain and whatever. Or if it was eating, I like caramel candy. Like I don't like cakes and cupcakes, but man, you give me a caramels, forget it. So anyway, I started working with Jenna, and then now coming up on this 4th month, I have all of a sudden I noticed, wait a minute, I'm not feeling funky. My body isn't hurting. I mean, my body hurt so bad. I was like in this vicious cycle where I was depressed and I was sad. And I knew I needed to move, but I was in so much pain, I couldn't move and I couldn't exercise. So then I just got more depressed because then I would start feeling sorry for myself, like, oh, you're just going to stay looking like this. And, and it was just a nonstop cycle. But the minute I started making this connection between my mental, my brain, what my brain was saying, and the food I was putting into it, and where my brain was telling me, you don't need to eat that. That is going to make you feel bad. And changing up how I fueled my body from in the morning. I didn't start my morning off with coffee. I was starting my morning off with my water and drinking my water, and then having a higher protein. For me, my formula is I need to eat a higher protein in the morning. I mean, Jenna taught me that. I learned that. I kind of already thought that, and boom, it was like that gave me this energy where all of a sudden my body said, that's what I love. And then my brain said, I started feeling happy. I all of a sudden, this past month, I'm going to tell you, is probably the most, about a month and a half, actually, almost 2 months. I'll call it at 2 months because I'm trying to think, when was the last time I was really kind of bummed out? And I've had days, and I mark it in my tracker. I've had days where I'm like, oh, I feel poopy. and this is not good. And I'm like, want to just go crawl up and cry in my bed. And I do it. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, what are you doing? Get up. Like, no, you don't feel crappy. What are you talking about? Go have a glass of water. I'm moving more. My brain's like not wallowing. It's like snapping out of it. I'm able to, I'm Christian, so I focus on my Bible. When I was in my depression, I couldn't read my Bible if you paid me. I was like, I didn't want to hear it. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. That's not helping me, Lord. It's like, come on. Like, I don't need to hear that you're depressing me. And so, I mean, it was the truth. I was just being stuck. And ever since I made that change of how I was fueling my body to make my body stronger, my body is getting stronger. And that has been like the most amazing thing to happen for me. I broke my plateau. So my body did not want to lose weight. I've been with Jenna for going on 4 months and my body wasn't moving. It was like, no, you're going to just stay right here. And just kind of give you guys some numbers on me. I need to lose 150 pounds. I was at my biggest I've ever been. I was at almost 400 pounds. And then I lost a bunch of weight. I got down to 175 pounds and now I've gained, 130 pounds back. And that's where I've been sitting now for at least 7 years. Like, this is just where I'm hanging out. And now, once I made this shift in my mind and in my eating, which helped me shift my mind, which has now shifted how my body's moving, the scale, all of a sudden, I just like broke that plateau. It just kind of broke it. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, I know I talk too much. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
I tend to do that.
Tell them when we first started working together, what you were eating.
So I'm embarrassed because this is live. I lived on condiments. And
you weren't losing weight, right?
No, I wasn't. So probably when I realized, when I marked, I tracked my condiment meal. I can't even look at the camera. I'm so embarrassed. That's so funny. Anyway,
now you look back at it and you're like,
it's embarrassing. Yeah. So like one time when we were on a call, and I'm seriously, you were just like, that is so gross. I was literally eating artichoke hearts out of a can. Like, my food for that day was 3 artichoke hearts, my marinated artichoke hearts out of a can. And then I would eat a pickle. And then Jenna would ask me, like, what did you eat tonight? I go, well, I ate some olives. And I think I had a bite of, I'd have like a pickle. I would eat a pickle. And then I would eat a piece of cheese if I could find a piece of cheese. I'm a bachelorette, so I mean, I'm single. My daughter's away at college and I'm no longer married. So I'm very much a single life. I took a picture of my refrigerator. I don't like to shop, so my refrigerator's empty. And so I was just like, I don't know what I have in there. I think I put like mustard on a piece of cheese one night. But the thing is, though, I was at a massive calorie deficit. So my calorie intake was under 1,000 calories a day. And I was starving myself and I wasn't losing any weight. What was happening is I was retaining water, which was creating inflammation in my body, which was making it to where I couldn't move. I couldn't figure out why I would get up in the middle of the night, before I figured out this connection with the food and my depression and not being able to move, when I would get up in the morning, I literally would have to sit on the edge of my bed and I couldn't walk, you guys. I couldn't walk, get out of my bed and walk to the bathroom because I was in so much pain. My legs, I actually told my mom, I said, I think I might have bone cancer. That's how painful it was for me. I go, there's something wrong. And then the things too, like the irritable bowel in my gut and what was happening in my belly. I was having really bad cramping throughout my body, throughout my pelvic. I thought I had ovarian cancer. I mean, everything was going in my mind of what could this be? And when I realized it was how I was fueling my body, that I wasn't fueling my body, number one. And then what was going into it was crap, right? And then I started to eat. And when I started to eat, I started to feel better. And then when I started to change what I eat, to change my mind, that's when the whole mindset took off. I mean, I've exercised 3 times a day, not like 30 minutes 3 times a day, don't get me wrong, but because of the way my system works, I'm still only able to do 10 to 15 minute spurts right now. But I've done those spurts. I've gone for a walk. I'm not using my handicap parking pass. I'm not using my handicap parking pass so that I can be closer to the parking and not have to walk so far. I'm actually parking in a normal spot and walking. I mean, those are all huge, huge things for me because I didn't think that they were going to be able to happen. I really just felt like I was going down this really bad road. And my mind, it's like, and I can't think of like the last time that I really sat down, and I shared with Jenna in the very beginning how I struggled with depression, and that was like a really big issue, and that I really couldn't treat it because my mind gets really strange about the thinking of it, and wanting to hurt myself. And I haven't had those thoughts. And I'm not saying that just the food was that's the only thing. What happens is, like I mentioned earlier, when I eat right and I'm fueling my body, then my body wants to move. And the more I move, the better my brain feels. So now I've got this circle going, this vicious cycle now of feed yourself right. Now you're going to move. Okay, now your brain feels better again. And I keep wanting to get to my brain feeling better because I don't care what my body looks like. My body is my body. And I'm learning to love it just the way it is. Like I'm looking at myself going, oh, hey, you are kind of cute. I mean, it's like you're chubby, but you're cute. You know, it's like you got your thing going on. But yet I keep wanting to get back to that happy where I can look in that mirror and say, yeah, you are beautiful. And this is fine. And this is temporary. This is your shell. But what's in me and what's in my mind, that's what's better. Since I've been working with you, my mind. So if anything's gone stronger, if I've lost weight, if I've lost anything, I've lost the toxicity in my mind. I've lost that. And that's been really fantastic.
Yeah. What was I going to say? So today you were even telling me that you did some exercise that you haven't been able to do because you've had pain in your leg, right?
Yeah. Yep. These my little side alpine things they're like these little alpine skier things. You know, I'm not going to get up and go live on my butt.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do
that.
I
just have to just come find me and then you'll see it. But anyway. But yeah, I was like, to be able to actually step side to side very quickly. Things also too, I've been able to start doing squats again, which I wasn't able to do before. I couldn't do squats because my knees, my leg, it's not even my knees, it was my bones. The bones felt like they were going to break. That's the only thing I could, just arthritis pain through my bones. And in my back, I have, from the autoimmune, I've got arthritis up and down my spine, pretty much through my hands, through my body. Most of my body is just filled. And all I'm doing is moving and taking my Tylenol now. And I just took a Tylenol today and I hadn't even taken one since Saturday. That's huge.
Awesome. Yeah.
So it's like, there's all these little changes that I'm making, and it feels so good that I'm just keep doing it. Watching what I eat has been tracking what I eat, knowing what I eat and what I can't eat. And some of those foods I can't eat are actually healthy foods, which was really surprised me. Like I can't eat an apple. I body in apple says no. I can't eat apples. I can't do a lot of wheat. I can't do gluten. I have to be very careful. I'll do some, but I can't do a lot of it. I can't eat pasta. There's no way. My
and
body
I think
will
tracking
die.
your food and tracking your moods and how you feel, you know, helps you understand like what your body likes and what your body doesn't like.
Yeah. Because I would go right to it and say, what did I eat? And I'm like, oh, you went to Chi-Chi's Pizza and had, you know, pasta, and a glass of wine, you know, and it was like, no, you're done.
Which,
no.
But brings me back to counting your macros and not being like super restrictive. Like we've talked about that, where you can still eat what works for your body. You don't have to like, we're not completely going keto, or we're not like completely, we're not being extreme. We're finding out what works for your body, what makes you feel good, and kind of sticking with that. And I think that when we first started, you were in a place where you were taking care of everybody else, and you decided that it was time to put you first.
Yeah, that was big. I really had to put myself first. And that's kind of helped too. It's kind of funny when I was talking with my niece the other day, and something was going on, and I'm just like, yeah, just let that go. It's like, you can't fix that. You just do you. And that's kind of been me. It's like, I'm just doing me. I'm taking care of myself. I am putting myself first. I'm allowing myself to take a nap. And on the weekend, I told my mom, I did my old lady thing, and I took a nap, for 15 minutes, and it felt so good.
Yeah.
And I'm saying no. I used to say, yes, I'll be there. Yes, I'll do this. I mean, volunteering or whatever it was. Yep, I'll be there. Yep, I can do it. Even Sunday, I really wanted to be able to go see Juan this weekend and see you both, but I just knew that I couldn't do it, that I had too much going on. And I'm like, nope, that's going to make you spiral. You got to own like, I call it owning my own life. Like, I have to own my life and not let other people own my life. And even with my daughter, she's in college and she needs me, and she'll call me, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want me to do right now? I need to handle this, and then, I'll take care of you and with my family. And it can be hard. I can't imagine. And I have so much respect for you and for so many women who are still their moms, and they have a husband, and they have their children, and some of them are still working. And I mean, it is a lot, and it is so hard. I wish the one thing I learned about putting myself first, I wish I would have learned that a long time ago, because that, I think, would have been a game changer for me as well, that to remember that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about last week when we were talking. You were saying that making your food choices, like making healthier choices, was kind of like bleeding into other areas of your life, of your decision making, and helping you make better decisions, right?
Yeah. So it just kind of like God, how do I put that? So it just like overall, like I had heard this thing where they said, if you want to be a certain person, whatever that might be, if you want to be run triathlons, or you want to be, this, you have this ideal in your mind. And for me, it's like, I want to be a healthy person. I want to be known as somebody who's a healthy person and a positive person. And said that you had to start acting like that. And so when I started making better choices for my food, paying attention to what I could eat, like one big thing, I cannot eat red meat, man. That is so hard. I can't do red meat. My body just doesn't want it. So I had to say, I can't do that. I love you, steak, but I can't eat you. So I have to break up with you right now. I'll come back at you later. But I had to start making these choices for me and start acting the way I want to be. And the way I want to be is a healthy person who's mentally healthy and inside my body healthy. I care, like I mentioned, like I don't care about my outside shell. I care more about what's happening on the inside of me. And I want to clean up everything that's inside of me. And the only way I can do that is through watching what I'm eating. Drinking. I mean, I had to cut back alcohol. Like I'm a tiki girl. I love alcohol. I mean, I don't love alcohol like I drink it every day, but I love to go out and go to a tiki bar and have a drink. Well, guess what? That's toxic for my body. My body doesn't like it. I had a drink on July the 4th with my bestie, and it was wonderful. But then after, I didn't feel really great the next day. And then this past weekend, even, I went out and I had a Mai Tai, and my body says no. So now I know, I had I had stopped drinking like 3 months, and then I just, maybe I'll have a drink. No, my body says no. Same thing with the steak. I had a steak the other day, and my body said, no, I don't need that. And it made me have brain fog. Like my brain fog's gone. When I eat, if I don't eat right, my brain fog comes back. I have total cognitive dysfunction where I can't concentrate, I can't focus. It makes me have anxiety. And then the depression can creep in. Those are things I don't want to go there. So it's easier now for me to make these choices, remembering, and it's becoming more automatic where I'm like, nope, you can't have green apple. No, we're not going to choose the steak. So I'm able to say, well, I'm just going to have chicken salad. I'll just do this chicken salad and see what I can eat and get through that. Or I'm going to choose the fish because, oh yeah, the fish. And now my body's naturally going, yeah, that's what you want. It's telling me what it wants.
Right. Yeah.
And I started listening to my body. I wasn't listening to my body before. It was me telling my body what it's going to do for me. And now my body's working for me. That's how I feel. My body's saying, no, I'm going to show you what I want. And it's telling me, no, I want you to get up and go for a walk. I'm like, okay, let's do it. You know, and I'm doing it. Or it's telling me you need to stand up. You need to go walk. You've been sitting for too long. You need to have a glass of water. You know, you have a headache. You don't need you don't need to go to Starbucks. Just go drink some water first. Or, you know, and you got to fuel me. You got to feed me. And if I don't feed the body, I can't live on 600 calories. I can't live on 1,000 calories at all. And I fight to get that 1,900 calories in. It's really hard. That's horrible. And I'm so grateful you brought me down because I was having to do those 2,000. And I'm like going, I can't eat that. I'm like living on 1,800 to 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
You know, over here, all chubby and happy, eating no food, starving myself to death. And no. But my body's saying, no, we do want to eat. So yeah, it really does help me. It's helping me make better choices for me so that I can become the version of myself that I see. You know, like when I look in that mirror and I know that I'm a better person now, where I'm not looking at myself through depression anymore. That's the thing. I don't look at myself through my eyes of depression was horrible on myself in the mirror. And now when I look at myself, even I'm going, ooh, look at you, got a little waist and okay, this is good. And, you know, and get yourself down, you know, and I'll put my makeup on where when I was in my depression, I was like, I'm not going to put any makeup on. I don't even know if I'm going to shower. Like, I don't even know if I want to take a shower. I don't even have power for that. But now I'm like, no, get up, do your hair, you know, like I let my hair go gray. Like I'm not dyeing my hair anymore because I just don't want anything toxic in my body. That's for me. Like I was like, no, I need to, what if it was the hair dye? What if the hair dye's messing me up? I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so I just really have just said, I'm just going natural and I'm going to start doing things that make me live the way that my vision of myself that I see, which is this healthy, strong and healthy and happy woman that I know I am. I know I am.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Michelle.
Welcome.
Let's see. Does anyone have any questions? I'm looking over here. I see that Kara is on.
Yay! It's my bestie.
I don't know who else is on. It doesn't show me like who's actively watching. I'm sure she's still actively watching.
Yeah, she's there. She's my girl. You both are, but
what? Just kidding.
But she my bestie. She knows she's my ride or die girl.
Yeah. We've all got that one thing in common that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. It's like I love you both, but Kara's got my back. You got my back too, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
She's that ride or die.
Yep.
She's the ride or die.
So Lauren Malpica is on.
Cool.
She's
hey, Lauren.
She's in Fresno.
Oh, that's cool. I know that area.
Yeah.
I know that area well, actually.
Yeah.
Well, good too. And hopefully, like, if anybody watches it later and then they have questions, I just DM.
Yeah. So her name is on the screen, Michelle Ibarra. She's on Facebook. So if you guys want to reach out to her, my mom's here.
Hi. I haven't seen your mama for a long time.
Yeah. She also let her hair go gray and it looks really good.
Oh, I love it.
Yours looks really good. I like it.
Yeah, it's working for me. I work in it. I work in it. And Kara's so cute. Kara sends me the cool pictures of like, okay, we can do this. It's going to
I
go
know.
all gray. She knows. She takes
I
care
love
of
her
me.
blonde hair. Her blonde hair looks great.
I know, Kara, we love the blonde. Although I wasn't used to it. She's got the most perfect, because Kara can have her red hair and she can have her dark hair and she can have her blonde hair.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really loving the blonde right now. We talking about you. She's not there. Oh, she's laughing at me. She sent me a thing earlier.
Oh. Yeah, I don't see her commenting. Let's see. All right.
Yeah,
Well, it
she
doesn't
sent me a
look
thing.
like anyone has any questions.
Cool beans. Well, thanks for letting me share. I really appreciate that. And I hope, my biggest hope in my life is to be able to help other people, especially if they struggle with any form of depression and anxiety. And if just anything, if they can think of something and they watch this later, just reach out to me, because that's my greatest joy, is to be able to talk to people and let them know just all the cool stuff that's happening. And I'm going to get on the scale. I haven't weighed myself, so I need to go get on the scale, because I know like my shift, I've made a shift.
Okay.
Because my waist is way too small right now, because I can like hold it.
Does it fit your hands perfectly?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's like one of those things where I like thought, oh, okay, like if some guy was giving me a hug and he'd feel my little waist and go, ooh. So
I love. So if you guys want to reach out to Michelle, she's awesome. She's transparent. And I think that's why her and I get along so well, is because we're both transparent, and you know, we just say things as they are sometimes, but in a gentle way, right?
I'm not always gentle.
Mine doesn't have to be gentle to Michelle, but it's gentle to most people.
I'm not always gentle at all. So I try.
But sometimes we all need that, right? Just a little
sometimes.
But
yeah, sometimes. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you and what you're doing to help me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. I love doing it.
I love, though, I know we're going to get off. Oh gosh, we're over. But I love how I mentioned it to you, how it wasn't that you were, because even I was talking to Kara about this earlier, and she knows that I'm working with you. And I was like, and she goes, well, what's going on with it? I go, I'm not sure yet. I'm not really sure how this is yet. And then it was when we talked going into month 4, I said, I know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And this is what you've done. And it was to allow me, because you can't tell somebody to do, they have to want to do it. Mm-hmm. And they have to be able to see it. And when I started to see it in my diary, in the food, and looking at the food, and then when I started to see the changes happen, that's when I'm like, this is what's happening. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's not like a quick fix. This is going to be my lifetime change. Finally,
right.
You know, my finally. All righty. Yep. Well, thanks a bunch. I appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you. So I'll see you next week, right?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We're on the calendar for tomorrow.
Okay. I haven't checked my calendar. I'll see you tomorrow then.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Bye. God bless. See ya.